Hello everyone, and welcome to a Medieval Engineers Dev Diary. As you have seen in the past with Space Engineers, we have started doing Dev Diaries, and so will we for Medieval Engineers. Now, the last few months have been relatively quiet, but they were definitely not... we were not quiet. We were very busy actually, as you have recently seen with the release of our big 064 update. Leading into our 064 release, we organized a banner contest and we had many pretty cool submissions. In fact, we had so many submissions that we decided to go with 5 winners rather than the usual 3. And you've all seen them in the game because they have been available to you now. And again, we were very impressed by what we got. We will definitely be organizing another one of these banner contests in the future. But enough about the banner contest, let's start talking about the 064 combat update. As the name implies, the main focus of this update was to introduce a revamped combat system. There's so much to talk about the combat system that we are planning to keep this for a future dev diary. But just a quick overview, we had a couple of core design principles, such as that the combat shouldn't take away from the engineering. You're still an engineering focused game. The combat should be easy to pick up, no complicated controls, no combo moves. The combat should be easy to learn, and it should be more or less skill-based. But more about the combat will be coming in the future. We had lots of other cool features inside this update that also deserve some airtime. For example, we have completely overhauled the resource balance in the game. In the past, you had to gather a lot of wooden sticks and you had to mine so much stone. I actually got a message from someone once. He said every time his wife watched him play the game, she saw him mining stone. And after some time she asked him, "Why are you playing the stone mining simulator?" And he sent me a plea like, "Can you please do something about the stone balance?" So the only way we could really do something about it was to kind of change the way that the stones are working. And as you have seen in the resource rebalance, it works pretty well now. In addition to, of course, the resource balance, you saw we had made lots of HUD changes. For example, we have a completely new and overhauled chat system. The chat system now supports things like local chat, it supports animations, you just type /wave and your character waves. It supports private messaging, it has a nice background so you can clearly read what is being said, and probably the most requested feature of them all, we have a log where you can see what has been said. When you open the chat, you can scroll up and you can see the whole history. On top of that, the quest tracker on the side of the screen now also has a little background, so you can clearly see the things you have to do, rather than you have to kind of gleam at the screen and try to figure out what it says. The background provides this really nice contrast. But these are kind of the big visual changes. There's also kind of a lot of small changes, little touches that just make it just a little cooler. For example, have you noticed players leave footsteps now? If you're walking in the sand, if you're walking in the dirt, if you're walking in the snow, the character leaves little footsteps. So you can see up to a certain distance where they came from or where they went. Also, we have overhauled the ambience system. Music and background sounds are now much more alive and fitting to the area that you are in. For example, if you dig a very deep hole into the ground, you will hear this cave noise, this reverbish, echoey sound that you can typically hear when you're inside caves. But of course, the update wasn't just for the players. We have also lots of changes for our other user groups. For example, server administrators received a lot of cool features too. There's now a proper chat log, there's the remote client, and with the remote client you can administrate your server without actually being on the server. It lets you ban people, it lets you unban people, it lets you talk to the people who are there, you can manage the promotions while the server is running. In the past you had to shut down the server, edit your admins and restart it. Now you can do it while the game is running. Of course, admins can now also join their server. As long as they're in the admin list, the game will always let you join, even if that would mean it would exceed the maximum player count. There's also cool stuff for the modders. The old system that we used for touching doors or the windows or even visual inventory has been overhauled and updated kind of in preparation for our next big update, but you can already start to use the new features that we have. There's a guide on the forum, and actually I asked one of the modders. He made these bulkhead doors. They open under an angle, and this was a system that was previously not possible. Finally, also for people who want to make cinematic shots, we have updated our camera controls for the spectator camera. You can kind of play with them, you can see them in the key binding screen. There's a very good tutorial on this on YouTube. The description we can link in the description below. And it allows us to make very smooth camera movements. And you saw this to great effect in our trailer, where the catapult or the trebuchet was shooting the ball and you really saw the mountains disappear in the distance. This was a field of view trick, and it really evokes a sense of speed. But also the motion of the camera itself is very smooth. The path is interpolated using very smooth curve, and you can see that the results are very, very cool. So all in all, 064 was a very cool update with lots of cool features, and it was only what we call a minor update. Our next major, I cannot talk much about it yet. It's still under the wraps. We are working hard on it. It's progressing nicely, and that's all I'm going to say about it. What will be up in the future? Well, we've got some cool contests planned. We want to do another banner contest, but also now with the new combat system, we would really like to organize a tournament. We would really like to organize new castle sieges, and you will see more on these happening in the weeks to come. I think there's lots of cool stuff for you guys to enjoy now, and I'm looking forward to the next few weeks where we continue to work and tweak and balance the combat system, but also play these tournaments and the contests with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this dev diary, and I'll see you with the next dev diary. Ciao!